Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Thank you so much for continuing to log on and join me for fantastic days of food, especially given the situation. I hope you're all keeping well and managing to find solace, managing to find joy in the little things, especially if you're at home or in isolation. I hope that you can find some comfort in your kitchen and get creative. And I think with everything happening at the moment, with everyone seeming to panic buy unnecessarily, I think it's a great opportunity for us to have a look and get creative with our recipes and get creative with what we have in, so we're not contributing to any unnecessary waste, especially given the shortage of things at the moment. I hope these recipes bring happiness, comfort, joy and delicious meals. So yeah, today's gonna be a Sunday. It's actually a chilled out day. I've just literally finished blitzing and disinfecting the entire house from top to bottom. I'm now quite hungry. This morning breakfast was pretty nothingy. I had a banana and some coffee. Andrew actually brought it to me in bed whilst we were reading the news, which is why I don't have any actual footage of that. But yeah, I had a banana and a latte, and now I'm actually feeling quite hungry. I think doing all the housework has definitely ignited hunger in me. So because I want something quite quick, considering I've had a very busy morning, sorry if you can hear Harrison trampling around upstairs, but yeah, I'm gonna have an omelette, and I had an omelette for my dinner last night as well, and it just, again, it reignited that love for different toppings, and they're so easy to do, and they're really affordable at the moment as well, just in case you're on a budget or if you're not managing to have much in. I think dinner omelettes and lunch omelettes are a fantastic idea to use a lot of the fresh fruit and veg in your fridge and also get creative. So I have a couple of spring onions here that I'm going to be using, some mushroom, cheese and sourdough bread, and it's going to be delicious, I can promise you. But let's talk about dinner tonight as well. It's a Sunday, so I feel like we're going to have a roast dinner tonight. I have a beautiful roast chicken, or chicken that I'm going to be roasting, and we're going to have it with Yorkshire pudding, mashed potato, peas, gravy, and it's just going to be a really lovely comfort food, especially again, given the situation, everyone's at home, and we're very much taking solace in each other's company and eating delicious food, that is for sure. So I hope you all enjoy it. I will link my lounge set in the description box down below. It's a 3-piece, but you do buy it separately, so I will link it along with anything else throughout the home, cast irons, mugs, latte, sachets, anything that might be of interest to you, I will link. So with that being said, let's get on with the day. Okay, so very simple situation today. I'm just going to grab a couple of eggs out of my egg holder. And I'm going to have 2 eggs. It's going to be a 2-egg omelette, and alongside it there's going to be some spring onion in there. I'm going to chop up some mushrooms as well, and I have some gorgeous sourdough bread that I picked up from Tesco, and that I froze and just defrosted. And instead of frying it in oil, I think to add a bit of flavour and a bit of excitement, I'm going to be using my Le Pack garlic infused butter as well. Again, just to add flavour. I'm going to be using that just to add some flavour and some depth of something different. I also have some cheese here. I'm going to weigh out 10 to 20 grams. I'll decide closer to the time. And you could add pancetta, you could add peppers, whatever you have in the fridge, feel free to add. So I'm just about to cut some sourdough, and I will weigh that out in grams and let you guys know exactly what that equates to. So 3 points, which is absolutely perfect. Lunch was delicious. Honestly, it's one of the most simple things, but so delicious, and every time I have it I crave it for days and days following. So now dinner time is going to start prep. No, that's completely wrong. Prep for dinner is now going to go underway, because as I mentioned before, we're going to be having a roast chicken dinner tonight. So I picked up this large or extra large chicken from Tesco. This is a really sizable one, so it's going to take quite a long time to cook, and I like it to roast slow and all the way through in lovely marinade. So I'm going to get on with that now. So in my oven tray, I'm going to be popping in some shallots. I'm going to leave my shallots whole, I'm gonna leave the skin on, half them, and pop them straight into the roasting tray. So I have 4 shallots here, and then this will help to make the gravy with the stock later. I'm also going to be using 2 lemons. I'm going to be juicing them and then putting the carcasses into the bird, along with a full bulb of garlic, which may seem like a lot, and it is, but it's a big bird and we want to make sure there's a ton of flavour in there. So I'm going to split it, scatter some in the tray, and then put a bulb, at least 1 bulb, into the bird. And then I of course have the butter that I'm going to be using to make the rub. You could use olive oil, you could use Frylight, it's completely optional. But I have some fresh rosemary as well, which is very important. And that is pretty much it, along with some olive oil, some butter, salt and pepper, and some all-purpose or steak and chicken seasoning. That is all I'm going to be using. It's a very, very simple one, and of course we will just factor in the chicken later on because everything else is breast and butter. But when you divide that butter between the amount of servings on the chicken, I choose not to track that. You can completely track it if you want to. But yeah, let's grab out the oven tray and get this all assembled. The first thing I'm going to do is put some olive oil in the base of my oven tray. Again, I'm using quite a large oven tray, and I have my pastry brush here, and all I'm going to do is literally just rub the bottom of the tray, and this is going to ensure that the veggies don't completely stick to it, and yeah, my chicken doesn't become dry on the bottom, because again I use that for gravy and for stock. Chicken is in, and as you can see there's quite a lot of room in here, which is exactly what I want. This is a really decent sized oven tray, and the first thing I'm going to do, I actually end up seasoning twice. So I'm just going to sprinkle some rock salt right on top of the bird and in and amongst the tray. Again, it might seem like a lot on salt and pepper, but this is a rather large bird and there's nothing worse than an under-seasoned chicken. So make sure that you are quite generous with your seasoning. And then the first thing we're going to do is give the chicken a layer of olive oil. Again, this is optional. This is just what I like to do. I like a really succulent chicken, and I'm just going to rub that straight into the skin and make sure every part of it is covered. If you know, just make sure you're disinfecting your hands. So I'm going to move on to my veg next, and again I'm literally just going to take off the ends, give these a nice chop down the middle, and pop them straight into the tray with the skins intact. You don't even have to remove the ends. It's totally optional, whatever you want to do. And you can add whatever veg in here. If you have some carrot, you could pop that in. Literally, the possibilities are endless in an oven tray, to be quite honest, and everything will infuse together and add to that rich gravy stock. So I'm just going to add those in, and again they add a pop of colour as well, which is absolutely beautiful. And then I'm also going to add half of my bulb of garlic straight in to the chicken. Again, you don't have to take the skin off. And then I'm just going to pop some in the oven tray as well, and these are going to go really sweet and caramelized. It's going to be absolutely delicious. I also have 2 lemons here, so I'm going to juice a full lemon in a moment, but for now I'm just going to put 2 straight into the bird like so and leave it sat out, and this lemon will steam in the oven and it will just give a beautiful citrus flavour, which will infuse with the garlic as well and complement that really nicely. So the next thing we're going to make is our rub, and I have a nice healthy amount of butter in here. Again, you don't have to technically do this, you could just pop some oil, add some herbs and spices, but I've been roasting chicken for many years, and I think making a rub is a really great way to ensure flavour and moistness to your bird. I don't even know if moistness is a word, but there you go. And I'm also going to pop a tiny bit of olive oil on the top, and also a nice spritz of the lemon juice. And again, these are just going to go into the tray. You don't have to get rid of those, let them roast with everything else. And literally that is it. I'm just going to mash this up in a spoon and create a paste. And then the final element, a final sprinkling of rock salt, followed by a generous pinch of black pepper. And that is it. That's ready for the oven. That's going to take at least 2 hours, a little bit longer perhaps, to cook, and it's going to roast low and slow, and it's going to be absolutely delicious. first hour and a half or hour and 20 minutes is going to have tinfoil over it, and then in the last 40 minutes or so I take it off and allow the skin to brown and crisp up. This just ensures that the skin doesn't go too dry too quickly, and also just ensures that a lot of the moisture stays within the chicken. So the chicken is in the oven, and now I'm about to make my homemade roasters. You could buy these pre-done and track them that way. That would be really simple for you guys, but I like to make mine from scratch. They're not the most calorie conscious, but I feel like roasters aren't anyway. And all I do is I peel some potatoes and I cut them into shapes like this, and I shallow fry them in a bit of olive oil, salt and pepper for a few minutes, let them get brown and crispy, and then I pop them in the oven and they spend about 35 minutes in there for the rest of their cooking time, and they're so delicious. They're so fluffy on the inside but crispy on the outside, and you don't spend a ton of time in the deep fryer because literally they're just in there for a few seconds. So along with the ghee, I put some dry parsley and some salt and pepper as well. These have had a couple of minutes to brown, literally a couple of minutes, and now I'm going to pop them in the oven and they will spend the rest of their cooking time in there. So chicken and potatoes are both in the oven. It's important to keep basting your chicken every half an hour or so just to make sure it stays nice and moist. Because I had a latte this morning, I'm just about to have a cup of tea, and I whipped up these cupcakes yesterday. They're basically just a chocolate cupcake with a chocolate buttercream, very, very simple. I don't know how much these are in regards to point value. They're probably quite high, to be quite honest with you. But I fancy one, and it's that time of the month as well, so I feel like I definitely need more sugar. So I'm gonna have one of those. I'm gonna mark this down at about 12 points, which I think is wishful thinking, to be quite honest, but that's what I'm going to do, and my weeklies can take care of the rest of it. Chicken is out of the oven. I put some foil onto it, and it's going to sit and rest for at least half an hour before we serve it up. Again, I don't think we're going to have mash. I think we're going to have roasters, Yorkshire pudding, peas and gravy, and some bread and butter. I think that would be perfectly fine for us today. So guys, it's actually been a few hours since I last checked in. That dinner was delicious. You cannot go wrong with a roast dinner. The peas, the shallots, the chicken, the gravy, the roasters in particular were so good. So I really enjoyed it. I will pop the point value in the description box down below because I can't really remember off the top of my head, but I feel like I might have a couple to roll over, but that can account for things like latte, butter, things that I didn't track. I'm not too fussed about that, but I am going to end the night with a cup of tea and my nightly orange, and I also have some grapes in the corner there that definitely do need eating and I've got my eye on. And yeah, I'm gonna end it and call it a day here. My videos about what I eat today, so my content will continue. I know there's a lot of uncertainty in the world right now and there's a lot of stuff going on, and I hope that my videos can bring you guys some comfort, some joy, especially because I think a lot of us are spending a bit more time at home. And I also hope that if you are stuck in and you are not able as much to go out shopping and get creative, I hope that this gives you an inspiration of what you can do with ingredients that you might have lying around in your cupboard just to get your food that much more exciting when we don't have the luxury of going out like we did before and just taking whatever's on the shelf mindlessly. Now we can't really take it for granted. So I hope that these videos give you some comfort, happiness, and also some inspiration as well. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to give it a like if you enjoyed it, and subscribe if you're new, sorry, and I'll see you in my next one. Bye.